Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Kerry here, and tonight I'm joined by April from April Summers Coaching. Welcome, April.
Hi.
And I just want to give everyone a little bit of instructions that we are here using StreamYard. So when you comment, if you're commenting on the video, make sure that you've clicked the link, the StreamYard/Facebook link, so that we can actually see who is talking to us. Otherwise, it'll just come up as Facebook user. But we're here tonight to get to know April a little bit. February is always, as they say, the month of love. And April is a relationship and dating coach. So I wanted to celebrate that aspect of our spirituality. And I know April loves the divine feminine as much as I do. She's a fellow member of Hawkesbury Women in Business. So April, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your story and how you came to be a relationship and dating coach.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Kerry. So I have come into this space through my own journey. I, as a young April, experienced very distant parents, emotionally absent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I developed a healthy little anxious attachment style when it came to relationships. And I struggled a lot with anxiety and depression throughout my 20s and 30s. And I didn't realize at the time that it affected my relationships. I believed that I didn't know how to do things. I couldn't trust to myself to make decisions about stuff. I had really low self-esteem and I suffered with low confidence as well. And I always had this drive to find freedom. I was always searching for this freedom from this anxiety. And after many failed relationships, unfortunately, one of them being a marriage, I came to really discover the thing that was missing, because most of my life I focused on self-development, which was fabulous. And I did all the courses, I saw all the therapists, I read all the books, and I knew exactly what my triggers were, where it all came from. But there was that one piece missing, and that piece was feminine energy.
Mm.
Feminine energy, I don't know about your following. I can't see anyone here, but if you spend any time on TikTok or you've done any sort of research, feminine energy can seem like this weird kind of term about being soft and gentle and lovely, but it's not. What it is, it's about the ability to actually feel your feelings, to be able to hold not only the good stuff, but the really hard stuff when it happens, and being able to harbor the storms when they come your way. And so that's the thing that changed my life.
Yeah.
And so obviously the impact that had on me, and how it not only changed my intimate relationships and how I've gone on to have the most amazing relationship, but it changed the relationships I have in my career, with my family, with my friends.
The energy of the divine feminine, that thread of your soul, which is the feminine energy that you're talking about, it's such an underrated power source. It's so overlooked, because I know for me, it was connecting with that changed how I manifested. So, and again, same sort of thing. It changes how you see yourself. It changes, how all your kind of relationships. It changes your relationship with money, changes your relationship with the universe, essentially. And and you're right, it often is that one piece that is missing.
Yeah.
And we just don't, we don't realize. So tell us, like, when you first discovered the feminine energy, what sort of things did you lean into? What did, you know?
That's a really good question, because we talk about feminine energy as leaning back, right? But I say to my clients all the time, when something uncomfortable comes up, or when you're triggered, or both, I want you to lean into that. So that was the game changer. It was just, rather than numbing or avoiding uncomfortable feelings, it was leaning into them. So I didn't reach out to the guy to get validation. I didn't call a friend. I didn't, go shopping or have a glass of wine. I sat in that awful feeling. And what came from that was just super healing. So yeah, that's the number one thing that just changed everything with feminine energy.
Yeah, and because I know for me, I sort of like call it loving your fear.
Yeah.
And embracing it and getting to know yourself in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really cool. And so, like, we're here to talk about the 3 feminine energy steps to overcome anxious attachment. So firstly, let's talk a little bit about what you see anxious attachment as. How does that show up in a relationship? What would that look like?
Yeah, that's awesome. So just turning my light down. Here's how it looks. You have the tendency for these things. So I already said it. You struggle to trust yourself. So this could look like constantly searching for other people's advice because you're worried you're going to get it wrong. So that inability to trust yourself. Intrusive thoughts. You're constantly bombarded with, did I say that wrong? Did I do something wrong? Did I hurt that person's feelings? What's he doing? Does he like me? It's kind of just constantly there. Like, you could even just go and have coffee with a friend. You get home and then bang, did you say something wrong? You're replaying the whole meeting in your mind to check if there's anything wrong. So hypervigilance is another common one. So you're constantly on lookout for whether something's going to go wrong. So in an anxious attachment relationship, it's like always looking for the red flags.
Yeah.
Even if the other person is a healthy attachment, you're like, oh, he said that, so that could be a red flag. Or he didn't text within an hour and he normally does, that could be a red flag. So constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, I think the term is. Yep. You struggle to be alone. So I say that you're only as good as your last encounter with your partner. So maybe you've spent a week or a couple of days together and it's been bliss. As soon as your partner leaves, within an hour or a few hours, bang, it's almost as though he's left you and he's going to leave you. And this anxiety is just, you're riddled with it. People pleasing. So there's this control factor with an anxious attachment where we're so fearful that someone's going to leave that we can sometimes curate our personalities so that we are digestible for everyone. So the theory behind that is, if they like me, if I'm really, really nice and I get everything right and I'm perfect, they won't leave. But the problem there is you don't ever get an authentic connection and you lack and miss out on intimacy. And the last one, I could go on and on, but the last one I'll say is you're emotionally unavailable, which was really hard for me this is a really hard pill to swallow. An anxious attachment will often attract to them an avoidant style attachment because they are themselves emotionally unavailable. Anxious attachment, whilst they deeply desire connection and love and intimacy, they have a deep, deep fear of being vulnerable because they have grown up knowing that it's really scary, and they actually don't know what it is to have a healthy love connection. They're not used to neutral. They're used to chaos and inconsistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever someone comes into their life that is healthy and consistent, sometimes their anxiety can get worse because they're like, what is this? I don't like, their subconscious doesn't even recognize it.
Yeah. And they're not used to that kind of experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see how crippling anxious attachment can be. And it's talked about a lot, but you can, like, there were times where I couldn't sleep at night. I could barely get through my day. Like, I was functioning, but I was constantly stressed and worried that this guy does he like me? Does he want to be with me? Am I good enough? And yeah, just missing out actually on what actually was in front of me and being able to enjoy my life.
Yeah. That's a hard way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So share with me, what are these feminine energy steps? So because I'm going to assume that if you were to be chatting with someone who was having that experience, these are the steps that you would probably be suggesting to them to
Yeah.
begin working on
Yeah.
themselves in this way. So so these 3 feminine energy steps.
Yep. So the first one is really fun and cool, and it's knowing what men are like. So, I mean, I shouldn't even say men. I would say knowing what a masculine energy is like and how they're different to a feminine energy, right? So there's a few different things. So the fundamentals of what we need as human beings in relationship is pretty much the same. But then there's a few things where men are different. They receive information differently. They're super sensitive. We don't really realize that men are quite sensitive.
Yep.
They don't process emotions the way we do. So where we can just babble and babble and talk and talk and talk and chat and chat and chat with our girlfriends or with our friends, men don't receive information that way. So communication needs to be adjusted when we're around our masculine energy. And they need to feel as though they are winning the prize.
Okay.
So when it comes to dating, if you are someone who finds that you're quite anxious, you may find that you are suggesting where you can meet. You are giving him tips and tools on how to get there and advising and kind of managing things. Maybe you give him advice when he's in a bit of trouble. You want to help him. You want to give him things and show him your love. But all of that is actually masculine energy. That's the doing. And so that's where the balance becomes unstable and the masculine energy usually pulls away.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to be the ones that are stepping up, giving, doing, because they need to feel like they've earned the prize, which is the feminine energy.
Right. Okay.
And the last thing I'd say is that they love emotions. We often think that we need to have ourselves packaged up all nicely and that whenever feelings come up, we need to hide them away because it's shameful or embarrassing or if I show him my feelings, it might push him away. But it's the opposite. What men don't like is drama. Okay. And so the difference between showing your emotions and drama is when, say, you're feeling something or you're really upset about something and he says, "Are you all right? You know, you seem a bit off. You're right." And you go, "I'm fine."
Yeah.
He knows, he can feel. Like I said, they're very sensitive. They know. He can feel that. And it can almost feel like a lie to him because he kind of feels something. He doesn't know what it is. So when you say, "I'm fine," he goes, "Okay," he's going to accept what you say is fact. Okay. And yeah, so it's that to him it's like it's not congruent, but he doesn't know why. And then yeah. So that's drama. That's the drama part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first step. So just knowing those few things about how we're a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, because I even heard in myself in there the one trying to fix, trying to manage.
Yeah,
You know, I heard some of myself in that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that it's wrong. Most of us were raised to nurture, and that for the most part, in the society we live in, we've had to take on a lot of stuff and we've had to go and work. And so we've developed that as women.
Well, we're all raised in a masculine society, really.
Yes, right? So that's it. And so, of course, we're just going to be like that when we're managing a relationship.
Yeah, and especially for those of us like myself who, and by the sounds of it with you, like if you've got parents that aren't emotionally available, you learn to rely on yourself emotionally.
Yes.
You learn to do everything for yourself. And that includes when you're in a relationship, it's like you've got to take care, you've got to, help support everyone, hold everyone. And I guess those of us that are mothers too, we even more so you tend to do that. So I hear you. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, step 2.
Step 2 is slowing down. So for an anxious attachment, I mean, most of us are very busy and need to get loads done. So we just are in that energy of getting things done, right? Naturally. And so what can happen when we bring that into the relationship is we kind of miss out on connection with our partner because we are going, when's he going to do that thing? He said he was going to do that. So that there comes in that management thing again, right? Because we're so fearful that if we don't manage things, everything's going to fall apart. So it's the same with our partner. Right? He said he was going to do that. Has he done it? Why hasn't he done it yet? Or even if it's early stages of dating, he's asked me out. Where are we going to go? When's it going to be? How are we going to get there? What does that mean? So it's constant. What happens when we slow down is we can start to trust that everything is going to be okay, that he is going to sort it out. So we surrender. We surrender to the uncomfortable feelings of the urgency to suggest, control, manage. Feel that instead and just be curious and watch what he does. When a man is given space, which comes from us slowing down and leaning back, whoa, look out, because he is going to be so mesmerized by you. He will have space to come in and pursue you, and he will feel inspired. Masculine energy feels really good and fulfilled when they are doing things to please you. He wants to see your smile. He wants to see your gratitude. And the other thing that happens is we get to witness the nuance of life, which is where joy lies. So if you're someone like me that never really slowed down to smell the flowers, and you felt really irritated by that saying, stop and smell the flowers. If you actually did that, you'd be surprised at the tiniest little thing like that can bring you so much joy. So grounding yourself in nature, or finding those tiny parts of life that make you feel a little giddy, a little interested, or a little curious. What happens is he will be the one that's privileged to witness how warm and fuzzy you feel when you see a kitten rolling a ball of wool around, when you are completely indulging in your morning coffee while you watch the sun hit a ball of light on the rose petal. He gets to experience feelings through you. He doesn't get to experience that anywhere else. And so that's where a man falls in love and is inspired and just can't get enough of that. It's like a bee to honey.
Yeah, and I sort of heard in amongst all of that, like it was real for me, that that's how the universe responds too. Like when you slow down and you lean back and you let go of control and you have that little faith in your partner in spirit, it's the same sort of practice, the same sort of results.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that it's changed not only my relationship with my partner, but my whole life.
Yeah. And yeah, it does. So that's so step 2 is to slow down and lean back.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's like you have to be in that place 24/7. Like we have to work and we have to take care of the things in our life, Masculine energy is needed in our life. Just maybe not as much around our partner.
No, it's all about balance. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, and step 3?
Step 3 is my favorite, and that is sitting in the uncomfortable. I think you called it living in the fear or feeling the fear.
Loving your fear, yeah.
Loving the fear. Yes, that's it. That's exactly what it is. It's loving the fear. So leaning into those moments where usually you might phone a friend or go shopping or whatever it is that's your thing to avoid uncomfortable feelings. It's actually your opportunity for healing. It's your opportunity for receiving information about yourself. And to then share it with him. So when you are able to connect with your body and you're able to label the real feeling. So often I'll ask my clients, how are you feeling? And they tell me what they think. It's just, right? So it's going, okay, he did this and he shouldn't have done that and I deserve better. Great. How does that feel? Well, I feel angry. Great. What's underneath that anger? And then, it's usually sadness and, fear, fear that I'm going to be abandoned or whatever it is for that person. So it's like, okay, let's sit there for a while. Let's just let that be there. That, just like joy and pleasure and, hunger, all those feelings have a place. So do the uncomfortable feelings. They deserve a place as well. And where we get it twisted and get a bit wobbly is when we're pushing out those uncomfortable feelings. And while we don't address them or see them, they just keep coming louder and louder and louder. And usually it's in the form of failed relationships and heartbreak and trauma of, the separation. So yeah, it's sitting in the uncomfortable. And when you can say to your partner, I love you and I feel sad that the bins weren't taken out. It's important to me. What do you think? I don't want to feel that way. He's going to go, oh, I didn't realize it was so important to you. Yeah, I'll do that. As opposed to, oh my God, you didn't take the bin out again. I'll do it. Don't worry, I'll do it. All right, shut down. So, and that's another thing I didn't say about the masculine energy. They often feel as though they're getting it wrong all the time. Men carry a lot of shame. We all do, but they carry a lot of shame. So the slightest sniff of judgment or criticism, they're gone. They're out. They're shut down. But if you speak from your feelings, he will feel it. If it's real and authentic, he'll feel that. That's how you connect to a man's heart.
Such good advice. Such good advice, I think, I am sort of like listening and taking it in and really thinking about it, because even in that, that sitting in your feelings and just sitting in the uncomfortable, we're not taught to connect with those feelings, as much, even in, the shadow work of the spiritual field. It's still like, okay, let's just heal it, get rid of it, whereas it's not. I often sort of sit there and go, I am broken, and life experiences, that's it. And as much as I'm sort of at peace with all the experiences and everything that's happened, there's still all of that emotion that still often sits there. And it's that emotion that actually can be the key and the link in the energy to others. So, whether it's your partner, or in my case, it's used for my work with spirit and my clients.
Yeah.
But I guess it's what I'm sort of getting or intuiting. It's in that emotion where, if you can understand that about yourself and know that that's the link through the heart to another person.
Yeah, it really is. And we have been led to believe that we are, critical thinking beings, but we're actually feeling emotional beings with the ability to have critical thought.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So if when someone comes to you to work through their relationship, or to work like if they're in the dating and want some support, what can people expect when they come and work with you, April?
I think the first thing I'd say is that we focus on what it is for them as an individual. So what is their unique situation? Because every client has their own unique thing going on. Like I said, although there are fundamental needs that need to be met in a relationship, we're all different souls. So it's like, okay, what's going on for you? How can we get you from where you are today to where you want to be as fast as we can?
Yes.
So, what they can expect is the level of intuition to be cultivated and strengthened through feminine energy. So I give them tools on how to build that within themselves. And it's scary, right? It's scary when you start feeling stuff. So that's where I come in. I'm beside the client every step of the way over WhatsApp in between sessions, so that, when they have a trigger, or when they're like, I don't know what to say to this guy on this app, or but I'm there, I give you scripts, or I just be by your side to hold your hand all the way through it.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I know from my own experience and from working with people is it's really that path of self-love is, I guess, a reflection of the feminine energy flowing through you. So when you're drawn to increase your sense of self-love, it really is that part of the soul that is the divine feminine making itself known. And I know, like, when it comes to people walking that pathway and manifesting the kind of authentic soul connected relationship that they desire, if they are on that pathway, I know at the end of the day that's where it will result. It will result in that, without a doubt.
They have to meet themselves.
Yeah, they've got to meet themselves to be able to show up and bring it into the relationship that they're, it's like I often say to my clients, it's the kind of thing of, like, the kind of relationship that you want, what you're expecting of your partner. I said, but you've got to be that. You've got to be that. You've got to show up in that space for it to be matched.
Yeah. And it's very easy to say it when you have experienced it yourself. But the key for people in that position is really feeling that and seeing it for themselves. So I guess that's where coaching is good, because you're not going to be sat there and get told what to do. You'll experience the energy shift within yourself.
Yeah.
So, because, if being told what to do worked, no one would need therapy, counseling, or coaching, because we would just ask our friends.
That's right.
How much advice and everything do we get from friends and family?
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. And so where can people find you, April?
Yes.
So for them to get in touch.
Yes. So I do have a website, which is really easy to find. I do have a link that I could share that takes you direct to me. But is there a chat bar here? Would that work? Or
well, because I'm streaming straight into the group, I'm not able to post a comment.
Okay.
But if you send that to me, I can pop back in later and pop it underneath.
Okay.
And not just that, I am going to take this video and put it on YouTube.
Okay.
So I can put it in the video notes for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So my website is aprilsummers.com. So that's nice and easy. You see everything there. And my TikToks actually are really informative. So I really share loads of the tools that I do with clients on my TikTok.
Wow, I didn't even know you're on TikTok. I'm heading over there as soon as we get off to start following you.
See, where you're really cool on Facebook, I'm terrible on Facebook. I'm just so bad. So TikTok's my thing. But I've got a free book that you can download it's all about your vulnerability, feeling your feelings, and there are scripts in there on how to communicate to a masculine energy so that he hears you. So it might be a good one. So I'll put that link. That's the link I'll send to you, where people get that straight away. And then they have the option of receiving my newsletters with the tools and tips on relationships.
Yeah, I'll definitely share that for you so people can make use of that. This is a month where, relationships really come into focus and people are feeling it, So I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for coming and sharing. And
I'm really chuffed to be here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. Thank you so much.